There are definitely positives to take away from this game. Opportunity for everyone to truly see quality minutes is a big piece of it. I thought our forwards did a really good job in this game. Obviously, there's a height advantage, but it wasn't just that they had the height advantage. They did a better job of finishing. They did a great job of rim running. I thought they did a really good job when they were, able to reverse the ball or make that next pass. They did a really good job. So it wasn't just the fact that they were more physically dominant. It also was that they stayed fundamentally sound. The flip side is really disappointed in our turnovers in this game. Honestly, I'm beyond disappointed. I'm pretty upset about that. That's something we have to get corrected because I know that we're about to face a Stephen F. Austin team who does a good job of pressing. And, really, truly, you got to be able to stay disciplined in these scenarios to give yourself a chance to, make the next great pass, to break a press, and then take good shots. So that piece of it is something that we're going to have answered before we see Stephen F., and that's something that we're going to work on for sure.
Coming off of those two losses against A&M, Corpus, and TCU, what are some things y'all wanted to focus on when preparing for Sol Ross?
So both those teams are great teams. Both are going to be tournament teams. So let's just put that out there for sure, right? Because Corpus returned everybody that was at the tournament except for one player, and you see how well they've done. Obviously, they beat A&M. And then TCU just beat NC State, who's 13th. I mean, I don't know why they're not ranked. They have three phenomenal players. So the learning lesson from each game was the same, and that is if we stay disciplined, we're going to put ourselves in good position to compete. When we don't stay disciplined, so discipline means start out with a serious sense of urgency defensively and do a good job of taking care of the ball, right? Ball security. Those two things are going to be really critical, and that is combined with your ability to be able to communicate. So if we kept those two things in check, we would have been in a better position to compete. So going into this game, the team came up with the 5 things that they know that we needed to do better. And that's what was written up on the board, and it's going to be what we're going to use moving forward too, because I don't think that's changed. I think there's some things that we can't check off from today.
Jalen and Morgan, what were some things y'all wanted to work on against the Sol Ross that y'all kind of learned from playing against a TCU and a A&M Corpus?
I mean, I would say guarding our yard. The biggest thing we work on is practice and defense. So when it comes to games, we just have to, apply that same thing in practice and do our best. And I don't think we're doing that right now, but hope we will get to it for sure.
And I totally agree with Jalen. More so to add on urgency. That's something that we're really trying to focus on when it comes to our offense and defense and trying to guard our yard.
And Jalen and Morgan, it was a really big night for y'all. Scoring really high in those double figures. What was just going right for the offense, and how were you able to kind of capitalize?
I would say just recognizing the mismatches, doing what we do best as forwards, and getting our guards on the same page as us as well. So they did a good job of just, feeding us and allowing us to score when we could. So, yeah.
Agree with Jalen.
Coach Z, 64 points from the bench tonight. How big has the bench kind of been for y'all this season?
It's been an important piece of this season. It's a lot of what we talked about. You're going to see a lot of young women have opportunity to play. And so I told our team, if our bench, can outproduce our opponent's bench, we're always going to be in a really good place because that shows a level of depth, and not us dropping off per se when you have rotation changes.
Coach, the team shot better than the first 3 games, obviously performing a little better. Do you attribute that to more better shot selection, or do you think they were just falling tonight?
No, better shot selection for sure. That's something we've been harping on. I always tell them a bad shot is just like a turnover. And so we've been working on that. And they've also found that that's happened in practice for them. When they've done a better job moving the ball or getting to what I consider their shots, our shots on the team, they are finding themselves in a really good offensive position.
And for both of you guys had 19 rebounds combined. Is that somewhere you guys were looking to kind of assert yourselves tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we do take those shots we practice, it allows us to set up for rebounds and get those offensive and defensive rebounds and just doing what we do.
Thank
you. And, Sanaya Burke, she also had a really big tonight. What does it mean for a freshman to kind of come in and for her to have a night like tonight?
It's really nice for us because we have 4 freshmen and we look for all of them to contribute at some level. And so a lot of their learning lessons are coming by fire more than, there's not a lot of time. So we throw them in these situations. It's good. She needed a game like this, right? It's been tough going from where she was in high school and then correlating her game here collegiately. And I think we're slowly starting to see, she's really understanding better the game and finding herself to her scores.
Jalen and Morgan, after how the last two games are kind of went, how good does it feel to kind of come out here and get a really big win like this? I guess boost y'all's confidence and all of that stuff.
Honestly, for me, it kind of felt great because we were able to work on stuff that we needed to work on, and I feel like that was a good thing for us.
Yeah, it was good to, win on our home court, but we still have a lot of stuff to work on and prepare for SFA and the rest of the teams in our schedule. So we just have to keep doing us and keep working hard so it can show on the court.
And Coach Z, speaking of SFA, really massive showdown coming Friday. I know there's a lot of history between those two schools, but what are y'all going to be looking forward as y'all up?
They're going to be gritty. They're going to be tough. I think it'll be really physical as well. I know they're not going to back down. They've already been battle tested on the road, traveling, right? They were down at Abilene Christian and came back and found their way to a win. And I mean, they pride themselves on being from Nacogdoches and being lumberjacks. So I think our team will understand that it's going to, again, be the same thing that I said. We have to be really disciplined. I see this, kind of like going, blow for blow.
Jalen and Morgan, just what are you going to be expected from SFA? And how, as Coach say, how do y'all prepare when it's probably going to be like a big back and forth showdown between y'all two?
I think we need to prepare for their pressure the most, and then not necessarily about what they're doing, but just what we can do and what we can bring to the table and work on us, and just work hard so we can come out with a win.
Yeah, for Morgan and Jalen, obviously Coach already answered from Colton, but coming off of back-to-back losses in a game that you should win, what does this really do for the morale of the team going forward?
I think it only just motivates us. It shows us what we need to work on and get better at, and then it also shows what we did good. The two losses were hard, but we kind of pushed past them and been working on what we need to work on.
Yeah, and then for Morgan specifically, you dominated offensively. You dominated both sides of the board today, but offensively especially. Do you attribute that just to being physical or just getting in the right position, or what would you say?
Physical and being in the right position. We work on that every day, so I feel like that really helps.
Awesome, thank you.
Coach, you had 22 fast break points, and it just seemed like y'all had the better athletes on the court. Is that something y'all game plan for, or is something you saw just
It's something we practice every day, right? It's pushing tempo, but in order for that to happen, you have to get defensive stops. So we really focus on the defensive stops, and then from there, pushing the ball in transition.
And Morgan, as he said earlier, you had an amazing game today, only missing one shot, and then the double-double. How are you feeling after the performance today, coming off back-to-back losses?
I'm feeling great, fired up, ready for Friday.